Okay, so I'm not an expert on the subject and have only played the beta off and on. In truth, I did not do any true leveling besides the Pandaren starting zone. I did a handful of dungeons and no raids, so most of what I am going to cover is design changes and basic concepts that have been put into the newest expansion for World of Warcraft. Much of my conclusions will be based on my own opinion, so take it as such. Oh, right, and I do have 2 beta keys that I will be giving away with instructions on how to enter to get them at the end of the video. To start with, I would like to say that Blizzard has worked very hard on this expansion. For their team size and production time, they have put forth enormous effort to produce Mists of Pandaria, and I'm thankful for it. Now, I have heard people complain that Pandaren are a joke, and a ripoff of Kung Fu Panda, so I'm going to reset the record straight. Pandaren have existed since 2002, when Warcraft 3 was released, and Kung Fu Panda began production in 2004. The art director for Blizzard has been drawing Pandaren for many years, and at BlizzCon in 2011, Chris Metzen stated that the team has been working on Panda ideas for the past 12 years. He also stated that the original Alliance package for Burning Crusade included the addition of Pandaren. However, they decided that the Pandaren did not fit into BC properly, and crafted Draenei instead. So no more complaining about Pandaren. Blizzard made them first, and hopefully they will make them better. So far, I think Blizzard has done exactly that. Their execution of Pandaren has been outstanding. The character models are a large advancement from the development team. The beginning quest zone was crafted with careful tedium, and the final product speaks of their dedication. Blizzard has also introduced a new talent system. I am personally still unsure what overall reaction I should have to it. On one hand, I like how my character feels more dynamic, and I am taking talents for the situational utility of them. On the other hand, I know there is a vacancy from the older talents that gave you small damage or healing percentage boosts that gave you the satisfaction of progression with your character. Receiving the new talents every 15 levels is a massive change from receiving a talent point every level, and I worry that the compulsion to improve your character will become lost in the long grind it takes to get from talent to talent. The pet battle system is an interesting implementation. They have really found a good use for expanding upon a neglected feature of the game in companion pets, but I don't really see that this feature enhances your overall gameplay, and in general, the game itself. A neat addition, but a large amount of hours were spent in developing this system, and it does not really improve your overall gameplay. Although they are trying to address their issues with power creep, I still find that Blizzard has not reached its full potential on how to make old content viable. Reworks of old dungeons is a good idea, but I find the instances where they removed the old content actually harmful to the overall game experience. Let's see if I can explain this a bit. The reason reworks of old content are viable is because it progresses the story of the original content, making the world more alive and dynamic for long-time players. However, a new player is left in the dark, and it has little meaning to them, and at times can even feel out of place and break their immersion. The best example of this will be the Cataclysm rework of Azeroth. These changes were effective because the player base knew the old world well, and then had a reaction to all the catastrophic changes. New players, on the other hand, are in a dilemma. They see all of this catastrophic damage, and their reaction will be a bit different. Since this is the only way they have perceived the content, they will come to recognize it as the normal, and the weight of the changes lose their strength for compelling the player to continue adventuring. They lack the original quests in the zones and the sentimentality of those experiences that really drives a player to want to defeat Deathwing. In the end, their experience is incomplete, lacking the narrative backstory and the emotional drive that would come with it. So honestly, I cringe when I hear they are making a heroic version of a dungeon. If they decide to drastically change or remove the original version, the flow and continuity, and even the progression of the new heroic, become lacking and disconnected. And finally, as much as I praise Blizzard for the hard work on all of the character models and animations that they have put into Mists of Pandaria, I have to say that not completing a rework of the old character models has become the most immersion-breaking aspect of the game. If I had never played WoW before and looked at the character creation screen, I would probably want to play a Pandaren. I would click through all of the races and not need to wonder why Pandaren seem more appealing to play. Their more natural animations and better textures make the other models feel stiff and rigid, and pushes their closeness to the uncanny valley under a microscope for us to compare. Even in the beta, I couldn't help but notice how rigid my old model was mounted on the new flying mounts that are flowing and moving in a far more lifelike manner. It made my character blaringly ugly, and it became a distraction from the rest of the good work that was done around me. to the point of making my character almost feel like they did not even fit within the game anymore. This was also slightly evident when you place the characters and structures that are just created up against the backdrop of the old world, then making the Pandaren models and mounts look like they came from another game, and did not belong in Azeroth. I do not know why a model and texture update did not take a higher priority over the pet battle system. The game would have given players a more unified experience that would not distract from the story and wonder of the new content if they had done so. In conclusion, I find the new expansion is a mixed barrel of good and bad. I've seen some great new fight dynamics, content, and minor changes that really cater to improving the experience for the player. I also saw many flaws that do the opposite. Oh, and Blizzard, remember this? Yeah, where are my new dances? It's been like 5 years. It's not even funny anymore. Anyway, I do have 2 beta keys that will allow you to take a look at the beta yourself and form your own opinions. To enter to win one of these 2 keys, I want you to email this channel at DBLClicknet, one word, at gmail.com, and write up a description of your most memorable moment while playing World of Warcraft. All entries will need to be in by midnight of Tuesday the 4th of September, Pacific Time. I will choose the 2 winners, and they will have their keys emailed to them Wednesday morning the 5th. So you will have a little more than 48 hours to send it in, and about 3 weeks to play the beta. I'm looking forward to reading the entries, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your Labor Day weekend. See you next time!